Eternals, issue number 8. So, it feels like it's been a minute since issue 7 came out, and we had a movie between that, so my conception of these characters is like, yeah, the movie. And I was like, what happened in the last one? Oh yeah, Thanos became Prime Eternal. So, we had all that put out, and then I'm just reading this, I'm like, man, this issue in particular to this grand scope of a book had a lot going on, and it was a lot to process, because it almost introduces like 100 new characters, it feels like. Man, is it a lot. So we're at Lumera when, like some deviants are attacking each other. Ikaris comes in and Kingo comes in and they kill the one. But this deviant's like, oh, they still don't like us for saving his life. Okay. They meet with Phastos and he's still, dealing with like his burden and his penance for killing everybody and restarting life. And yep, all cool. Again, it's like, oh yeah, that's what happened, right? It's just like a lot of like, right, this is where these characters are. Then we cut to the exclusion and we see that Thanos is making Druid come back. He's like, hey, I saw the bullshit you were trying to pull. Are you ready to be submissive now, you little squirt? He's like, I guess. But, the narration is just like, he wasn't submissive. He just knows how to play the long game. So Druid's going to go help Thanos for a bit. We have to build this again. The world will be new. Okay. We cut back to Lumeria. We see that an Eternal named Coryphos, no idea who the hell that is meeting with Thena and Tulo, and he's been married to this one deviant woman, Yiddisis, for 40 years. She's a simple-looking woman, and they're just in love, and Thena's like, that's cool. To be with somebody for 40 years and have literally no complications? That's cool. And you see Talos like, yeah, 40 years at best. And he's like showing the deviant that's going on him. It's like, these are the early signs of the change. It's the excess deviation. It means it's going to kill me and I'm going to become a horrible monster and you won't want to bang me anymore. And she's like, when did this start? How come you never told me? It's like, well, it kind of started yesterday. And it's like simple after meeting Gru. And she's like, Gru, okay. Gru? Yeah, her boyfriend from another timeline. Who was Bill Skarsgård in the movie. Yeah. Weird. And then we get like some character, like a brief character bio for the Reject and Carcass. You're like, oh, cool. 2 new characters on top of Coryphos and his wife, and these people are fighting. The Reject's like a beautiful looking deviant, and it makes people mad. So they're putting on a show for like all these deviants watching them, and we see that Ikaris flies down and everyone runs away. They're like, don't be mean to Ikaris. She's really trying to make a nice thing here, Reject. How can we help you, friend? He's like, I need to learn how to fight like a deviant. I fought like an Eternal. I need to know like the consequences of my fight. He's like, oh, I understand. Hits him with his stick. He's like, you should have dodged that. He's like, dodging? Tell me about this dodging. Because, yeah, of course, Ikaris is literally a bullet. He's an arrow. We've described him as an arrow. An arrow doesn't need to dodge anything. So that's pretty fun. We cut back to Olympia. You see what I mean by this? We're going all over the place in this issue, and it's honestly just a lot to deal with. You're just like, yeah, over here, over there, over here, over there. It's a lot, and it's kind of like frustrating because it flows fine, but I'm like, wow, you're just trying to get all of this in your head, and it's a lot to deal with. Thanos, Druid, and Domo are trying to build a new machine to kind of like make a new body for Thanos. Not working. In order to really get it to work, they need Phastos to bring his technology to make it properly function. And Domo, we learned Domo was kind of cursed with dying, so he is going to die if he gets killed. He's like, I'm sorry, Thanos, I couldn't do this the way you wanted it to. It's not going to work. He's like, you tried your best, Domo. That's great. But you failed me. So he kills Domo. And then we just see, all right, we need to get Phastos in here to make the machine so I can be stronger. He's like, okay, let's do that. Druid again, playing the long game. And it's just like, this is a lot. And then it's just like, okay, in order to accomplish the goals we're doing this way, we need to have more people on our side. We need people we could trust to march alongside us in battle. And I trusted Domo. He's like, well, I know the Eternals you're looking for. I think it's time we go meet the Oceanic Watch. And who's at the Oceanic Watch? It's Thyrio, Astron, Arlok, Argil, Argi, Thaestra, and Kalos the Destructor. The first major schism in Eternal Society was the Ornette heresy, amongst other things, Uranus. You get it. Just more Eternals, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Say what you will about that film, but they did the right thing by only making there like 10. Because there's like 100 in this book. It's like we introduced a new planet. Wow. So we cut back to Lumeria, Crow, and Cersei are having a dinner. And they're kind of flirting a little, which is kind of cute. And then in comes Thena like, how dare you poison my boyfriend? You pathetic little worm. I hate you. It's like, hey, I didn't do nothing to your man, okay? The change happens to all of us naturally. Things just occur. We have to let it ride if it's going to happen there, Thena. You know this. It's like, hey, take a minute to chill. When this is all done, your instincts will kick in and you can kill him. She's like, I'm not going to kill him. So annoying. We see Cersei's like, well, this seems like the perfect time to leave. One more thing, though, Crow. Did you invite me here because you just wanted to make Thena jealous? He's like, well, you can do two things at once, can't you, babe? Well played. Then we move over to Cersei in some random place. Jack shows up. Jack is an Eternal who's good at, like, lying and telling stories of trickery and deceit. And she's like, hey, did you get that thing working with Ikaris? And he's like, Ikaris is on his own path right now. It's a complicated one, but I think overall it could be okay. It's a lot of characters in this book, man. And this is where we get the reveal that Cersei learns who was elected Prime Eternal. Because Jack's like, you know, we got a prior engagement, kind of like a lot of weird shit going down with like our politics and who won our election. Yeah. So Cersei sends out a call to everybody. It's like, we got a problem here. They're like, what are you talking about? It's like, well, Thanos is the Prime Eternal now. And then we see Thanos burst into Lumeria, and he's looking down on everyone. He's like, Thastos, I need Thastos to build me a machine or all of you will die. Give me Thastos and your lives will be spared. And you're like, okay, what? Weird. And that's where the book ends, and it's a lot. And I kind of breezed through it really quickly because there is so much to get into with this that I don't know if I can do it justice. This issue in particular, it's like Ikaris is feeling something, Thastos is feeling something, Drug's doing something over here, Corithos is over here, Xena. So there's like so much in this book that it's almost overwhelming at times if you haven't been paying close enough attention to the actual story. And I get it, 8 issues in, it's kind of hard to really care anymore. If you don't care at this point, you're not going to care now. I still think it's well written, and I still think the artwork is very perfect for this book and these characters. But this one, I just went for the first time, and I love hardcore science fiction. This was a lot. I'm like, you are introducing too many new places too fast. You are setting up too many different styles and storylines. Tone it back a bit. If we learned anything from the movie, it's to tone it back a bit, but it's fine. And I think a lot of people will like it. The storyline I'm the most interested in, I think it's the Ikaris stuff. And I'm not even a big Ikaris guy, but I just think, like, yeah, like he learned that when he dies, people on Earth die. So now he wants to learn how not to fight like an arrow, but to fight like somebody whose life depends on it. That's kind of fun. Everything else, very hit or miss, but it looks good. It reads good. If you are interested in this book at all, you're probably going to like this issue too. So, Eternals, issue number 8. I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.